So I guess you could call this the makeshift classroom. Like a little, I got a supply area over here of things. I got paints because I turned a few of the projects and the work that needed to be done into actual projects to help get the kids engaged. Because I had two different kids in two different classrooms for 3rd and 5th grade, I tried to separate it on a table. So I had the work for Savannah on this side and then the work for Sadie on this side. But I figured the work that Savannah is doing, it would also help Sadie in the long run. So I have her sort of get into what Savannah's doing also because it wouldn't hurt. I mean, she's going to learn this. She's going to need to know it. So hopefully that will kind of push her ahead. I got the assignment papers posted above. Do a little back up. Then I got the kids' workstation here at the table. And then I managed to put a TV in the kitchen. And the TV, I've been kind of using that as a way. I mean, I currently still have to work, and I'm working in healthcare, so I have to distance myself a lot with the children, which makes teaching them very difficult. So ultimately, when I'm working 11 to 7 and overnight, I come home and I put on learning videos on YouTube, and I have them get engaged with that. See on the door here, I hung up a board of fractions, so I have them kind of go through and write the fractions down and have them study it. And I utilize that hour as an independent hour for them, so I could kind of catch up on sleep and kind of social distance myself for a while when I detox and, you know, de-cleanse and everything, my system, and, you know, shower and make sure that I don't have any germs or anything on me before I actually do go and interact with the kids. But yeah, I tried to set this up in the kitchen to have a little, you know, makeshift school area or learning area, and the TV and YouTube videos have been like a really good way for me to know that the kids, I can hear what they're listening to. I make sure I put on like teaching them math, and YouTube has a lot of kid-friendly different videos that helps get them engaged and kind of just getting them opened up to when I do come in and have to sit down with you. A lot of this you should kind of be on the fly with. So there was a lot of science homework for Savannah in 5th grade, and in the science homework, it kind of gave me a lot of things about the planets and so on and so forth. So even though I'm working on that, again, I find it really hard to get them engaged, especially being at home. They want to do everything. So I went ahead and took it a little step further, and I got some art supplies, which was originally on my little station there, paints and stuff like that. And then I had them paint the planets. Again, I refer to videos on YouTube that talked about the planets and, you know, showed you what they look like. And this is just kind of a run through of something that I was working on to help them get engaged in what is actually in the lessons. This is Savannah's. We drew the sun here, and then it talks about the sun in the solar system and that it's the largest star. And then they have all the planets down in order from the primary planets and rocky planets. You got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter being the largest planet, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And then again, I just went ahead and got Sadie involved and had her do the same project, because even though that wasn't in her lessons yet, I didn't come across that for her. If she's in 3rd grade, she'd be going to 5th grade, so why not get them engaged? She wants to paint, and I found the painting was a way for, hey, we can make a mess, and, you know, we can do this. So that was a way that we could kind of have fun and do something together, but still be learning what needed to be learned for the ultimate lesson. Now, this I necessarily hadn't came across, but I figured, you know, again, this became an opportunity for us to work together. So I let both the kids still work on now the planet Earth, and we talked about Earth and what layers it had, and how the first layer was the thinnest layer, and that was your crust, and middle layer being mantle, and then the center layer being the core being the hottest layer, and how when it heated up and the pressure was to get to a certain degrees, that the Earth would crack open, which would ultimately, what we see and what we call is how volcanoes work. So the girls went and they did all the writing down on how volcanoes work, and this is Sadie's. This is Savannah's. And you can see how volcanoes work, and it's an opening on the Earth's surface, and lava. Lava is liquid rock, and we talked about the difference between lava versus magma, and how magma is what was ultimately inside of the Earth's core when it heats up with pressure, and then lava being what is after the fact. And I don't know, it's been a learning process for not just the kids, but for myself also. But I find it to be very much easier to try to find a way to get creative with the lessons, which is what I imagine that most teachers are ultimately doing in a classroom setting when you're dealing with so many different kids and just trying to get them engaged also. So this ended up being like the easiest thing for me, turning schoolwork into art projects or, science fair type projects if possible. Again, the kids love it, and they're more in tune and inclined to want to sit down and do it versus me hassling them to, put the tablet away or, come out of the room and so on and so forth. So thank you for tuning in to my makeshift home classroom, 3rd and 5th grade. I definitely don't know how the teachers do it, but God bless you, because it has not been easy, but it has been very much fun. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you later.